Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Um, Welcome to SKTV. Welcome to SKTV Live. Welcome and welcome. Um, as you're joining us, let us know where you're following us from. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good day, everyone. Let's share the show. Um, let's share the show. Mustafa Balu is watching us from Riverside. Hello, hello, hello. We didn't come on yesterday. Um, we did not come on yesterday. Um, but let's share the show, please. Monk, Melbourne, and everyone else is expected to join us. Congratulations to Real Madrid. Let's share the show, though. Let's share the show. Let's share the show. Alex is watching us from Sufos. Yvette is watching us from Atlanta, Georgia. Let's share the show. Melbourne will be joining us. Folks, you're sorry. Um, let's share the show, please. I don't even know what's going on over there. I don't even know what's going on. I just laugh. I just laugh. I'm just laughing. Spencer. Okay, let's take it easy while we recognize people. If you don't write where you're watching us from, okay, is that Diati Toba watching us from Omega Market CDC project? Okay. Um, let's see here. Regina Wilson. No, Regina will not identify you. You not tell where you're watching us from. So we'll not identify you. Those who tell where they're watching us from, I don't identify. Folks, yeah, let's share the show, please. Planet Dinner, we got to do. Yeah. It's a Megan to about a Planet Dinner with Turkey. Uba. Someone a Planet Dinner with Turkey. Uba. Yeah. We the one again Kozo. I just did laugh. First of all, we want to start the show by saying a big congratulations to all the Real Madrid fans, all Real Madrid fans, including Siku. Evangeline Moore is watching us from Dallas, Texas. Thank you, Evangeline Moore. I'll go up the line. Tony Johnson is watching us from Providence, Rhode Island. Let's see. Everybody that wrote where they're watching us from, we got to recognize them. Yvette, we already recognize you. Yvette Sifas. Mustafa Balo is watching us from Pala Sa Village, River Cess. Mustafa, thank you for always being a follower, a supporter, an admirer. Even though you always follow us from River Cess, you're one of the people that every time we come on, you are on. Every time we come on. Young people is watching us from New Jersey. Joyce Wim is watching us from Minnesota. Oh, so Minnesota get different title now. State of attitude. Man. Sorry. We not know what is going on in Minnesota that all year. Sorry, my dear. Thank you for telling us that. State of altitude. Wow. State of altitude. Yeah, Alpha Mohammed Kaba. Masa Bolahu town. Daddy boy watching us from Massachusetts all day. Okay. I mean, you watching us from the city. Yeah. You want to bring noise in the town, my man. Calling town and name Masa Bolahu. God there. But let's share the show. Yeah, let's share the show, my people. Yo, let's share the show. Give me a second. Regina, sorry, I probably skipped it on no verse. I will get with you, mama. I will get with you. Relax. You know, on the show here, Regina, certain people there, that then the PP stakeholder, and the big girl and people. You are one of these supporters. I will say openly today. You're one of the big girls on the show. So we need to make sure we show you total respect. Put respect to your knee. We know the big girls and the big boys now. We know them. We know them when the show open, but we can't even check. So Regina, you're a big girl on the show. Yep. On SKTV, you big girl. Regina Wilson, and I just anybody, and I just get a supporter. Regina Wilson, make sure she can't through. We're not checking. Anyway, let's share the show. You're sorry. I am triple multi tasking. All right, let's see here. Okay. Kusuka Dosla is watching us from Maryland County. Yeah. Toba is watching us from Europe. Melbourne, what's going on?
Well, thank you, Steve. Even though, yes, today is the first Sunday, and this month is Father Month. But I hope that you really, if you get me, well, then that's good. I'm trying to stretch out my eyes because something nearly happened. But thank God at least that I can still see. but actually, it was not easy for me, especially on the weekend. I was done on Friday. Yes, on Friday, something, the motorcycle or the motorbike, they have their umbrella. I don't know whether you are seeing the umbrella when on the back. Yeah,
Yes, I've seen
so
some.
thank you. So mistakenly, while after the show, trying to get on the back to go, the iron nearly uh, burst my eye.
Oh,
So that was very, very happy. And I was cool on it yesterday, Friday. I did some medication, or in fact, I took some medication, I did some tests and so forth, and it was good up to last night now. But this morning, it starts sweating up. So again, for that what happened to me, but thank God at least that I'm okay and I'm moving strong with life. Yes. So far so good. How everything to with you?
I mean, sorry, man. Sorry to hear that. I don't wonder why I didn't get you hitting me up with me for this week. Um,
Yes.
Sorry to hear that, Melbourne. Yeah, but you having some back over there, man. Sorry.
Yes, so let me see. Let me see how best to do the adjustment. Let me see. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. But what's up, my man? Sorry, man. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, that's very unfortunate. I'm very, very sorry to hear that. You good, Melbourne?
Uh, uh, are you getting me now, loud and clear?
Yeah, I'm getting you. Sorry to hear that, my man.
Yes, indeed. This thing happen, my brother. Sometimes these are kind of a struggle that we go through again. But sometimes we will come here to talk for our people. Sometimes they describe us anyhow, any way they want to. But that's the beauty of the life. And again, we move. By the way, I don't know whether you watched the game on last night.
Yeah, I watched the game. In the first half, I thought, in my honest opinion of view, I thought Borussia Dortmund had had it going. They were very impressive in the first half. They missed a lot of chances, which cost them later on. But I think Real Madrid were the favorite, and they proved to be the favorite. And so they won the Champions League yesterday deservingly. Let me say it that way. In as much as I don't support Real Madrid, but the truth have to be told. And as always on SK TV, the facts are the facts. And so, yeah, I think they deserve the win. Much appreciated win. Like someone would say, they won bigly. The President Donald Trump would say. So, yeah, so very interesting, very intriguing game yesterday. Real Madrid showed that they deserve to be the champion. It's not surprising. They had an impressive season. I thought Borussia Dortmund would have pulled off an upset, but seemed like it didn't work. So here we look forward to next season to see what happened. But congratulations to Real Madrid, their supporters and their fans. You can't hate them for winning.
No.
Again, they deserve it. I'll say that. In as much as I don't support them, but they deserve the win. And that's I think the final was good yesterday. I didn't see much of a referee playing in favor of anyone.
Mhm.
I think the game was well played. The referee played his role. No favoritism, no picking sides. So that was really, really impressive. That was good. I watched the entire game. Through the game, I would skip and call Monk for auto lecture. I would call Siku, and we kind of hang it. Yesterday was a laid back afternoon, evening. We stayed up late, Siku and I, played some games. Just the regular enjoying ourselves, with the guys here. It was really, really good. And so, yeah. So, I mean, that's just what it is. But that's what it is, my man. Around the world, Ukraine, I don't know if there's a big conversation about having a peace talk with Russia to end the war in Ukraine. I was reading the transcripts. I was following the news. There's a summit that should be coming up. And many pundits are saying they're not sure if President Biden, would attend that summit, but they want to have that summit as soon as possible to craft a path towards the peace between Ukraine and Russia. I don't know how that would look like. We're still following to get updates on them. Once we can, we'll update the public, but that's what they're talking about. It can't get any better. A peace in Ukraine between Russia will help a lot, alleviate some of the expenses on the world market, especially in terms of wheat, food, and so forth. So that's very, very interesting. That's very, very important. Another thing also around the world, today, following the news in the United States, President Donald Trump is talking plenty. He has plenty of time with no evidence. As far as we're concerned. Yeah, the man's plenty time. As far as we're concerned, the man's a convicted felon and a criminal. And so I was looking at the polls this morning. 49% of Americans are saying they can never vote for a convicted felon and a criminal to be president of this country. 49% of Americans. So that leaves the number of 51%, almost half of the country. So they can vote for a convicted felon. So we'll see over the next few weeks what happens. But again, President Donald Trump is explaining tired with no evidence all around the place. He's bouncing around like Ganga ball. So my boy Yega can say it.
So I got one question for you.
Morning a press conference that according to him, I mean Muda bouncing around like Ganga ball. He bounce Ganga ball, he bounce straight. Yeah, but one question, before we go further.
Yeah. So my question to you with the Donald Trump issue, will he still be on the ballot?
Yes, more likely so. The Republicans are having a convention somewhere in July, and in that convention, it's up to the Republican to segment it. However, Donald Trump has won the primary on this side, so it's a no-brainer. In America, we'll say no-brainer. That means that's something that will happen by fire by force, basically.
Wow.
So he will be the nominee. I'm not sure if he will be on the ballot in New York. I'm not sure if some states would consider putting him on the ballot because states reserve the right once you're a convicted felon and a criminal. So as we speak now, President Donald Trump, for the rest of his life, he will get convicted felon and criminal noise behind him. And that's just in New York, though. If you really look at it for my boy Mong let me bring it on. Yeah, I can make a Donald Trump conversation spicy. Mong, what's up? Mom, the great Mom, what's up, bro?
What's up, man?
Yeah, we're just giving update on the different news. We congratulated the Real Madrid team for a splendid expected win. They were the favorite anyway going into the finals, and it seemed like I don't think it was a walk in the park. I think it was a good final. What say you on that, Mom?
Hello?
Yeah, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. You hear me?
Yeah, I'm talking about Real Madrid's win yesterday.
Yeah, it's Madrid. It was expected. I made a post. I think Melbourne saw it hours before the game. It's not only Madrid since we came into the modern era of football, because when they talk about the modern era of football, it's 1992. That's when FIFA went and redrew all the plans with all the regulations. Even the UEFA Champions League format was changed in 1992. So when you're talking about soccer, the modern era started in 1992. Since 1992, it's a pattern in European competition that when a Spanish team reaches to the final, they are most likely to win the final. It's not only limited to Real Madrid, but any Spanish team for that matter in Europe. They have been consistent, both in the UEFA Champions League and in the Europa Cup, which is a second-tier competition to the Champions League. Whether it's Sevilla, whether it's Atletico Madrid, whether it's how they call it, Valeria, whenever they reach to the finals, that's the end of the story. And it happened only once. I can remember it was in 2001 that a Spanish team in 32 years, it only happened once when Valencia lost to Bayern Munich on a penalty shootout, and it happened even on a penalty shootout. So that's the only time in the past 32 years that a Spanish team reached to the final without lifting the trophy. It happened once as compared to team from England or Germany. Spanish people don't lose finals. So I told people yesterday that Madrid, no matter what, Borussia Dortmund will play, they got a young team, they will compete, but at the end of the day, Madrid will be the one lifting out the trophy. And that's exactly what happened. I think I called you before the game, Steve. We'll talk about that.
Yes. That time Valencia had Mendieta in the middle, in the midfield. Remember?
Oh, Valencia had a good team. They had
the midfielder Mendieta.
Oh yeah.
That time Melbourne was small children.
Melbourne, I watched the game that time.
Yeah, Melbourne was late born in that time. And you understand?
Valencia had two genius midfielders. They had Mendieta and one picking called Pablo Ama from Argentina.
At that time, the two guys were in the midfield. You could have the equivalent of them today to be maybe the modern day Zidane, the modern day, Pirlo from Italy, AC Milan, or even Kaká. So Melbourne just started watching. The children.
Chelsea time, Melbourne started watching the game.
Like Frank Lampard, them, Marco Ballack, and ACN them when they were in the center. Those of you kids who are listening to us, era now, we kind of bringing it to so it can make sense to you. You understand? So, we just want to go.
Yeah, Valencia had the great Santiago Canizares. They had John Carew, the striker. I can remember they had Kelly's Gonzalez. They had one French player called Angloman, a black guy. Too, when he was a Frenchman. Man, that team was great. But guess what? They were bad lucky. Atletico Madrid. They went to the final twice, and they ended up being the loser. Madrid beat them the year before, and then Bayern Munich came and beat them the year after in 2000 and 2001 back to back.
Yeah, but after that, and they dismantled the team because they sold all the players, most of the players.
They always sell.
And since then, if you look at what Valencia has not recovered.
Been the same again.
Yeah, but Valencia has never really been, has not really been, the same since.
For everybody.
They sold everybody, for monetary reasons. Valencia has been struggling since that time. But hey,
the only thing, Steve, one thing I don't like about the Spanish league, there's only one problem in as much as I admire the Spanish football. When it comes to revenue sharing, in England, they do it across the board, right? When the FA generate the money, they divide equally among the clubs in spite of their status or their, how much they bring in revenue. But in Spain, they do it proportionally based on the TV rating and the TV revenue. So the vast majority of the money goes to Madrid and Barca, and maybe Atletico Madrid, and then they share the rest with the remaining team. So when it comes to the financial aspect, the remaining team need to sell her best player to be able to generate more revenue and
to keep up with Monk, to be quite honest, that there's been a fight about that to change that rule in Spain with the federation. I'm not sure how far they've gone with that fight, but I'm really hoping that they have that. It creates competition because then these underdog team are able to generate the revenue they need to be competitive, because then they can buy good players, as opposed to selling their star players to be able to maintain the team and to run the day-to-day activity. But
not only selling, which means they could maintain their best player as well and pay them higher wages.
Right.
From looking up to the academy, because in Spain they believe in academy system. Like you look at a team like Atletico Bilbao, right? They don't buy nobody outside the Basque country. So no matter how good you can be, their players are always homegrown. But not everybody get that talented soccer academy that can bring us some of the best. And you see the same way with Sevilla. Sevilla is one of the best institutions in the Spanish league. That where the Dani Alves, the Marcelo, the Sedu Keita, and all of them came from that or Sevilla. They always produce the top of the top player, but guess what? They cannot.
Sergio Ramos. That was
Yeah,
Sergio
all of
Ramos.
them came from Sevilla. Yeah.
But Monk, another thing that's also interesting that we also have to take into consideration is the fact that, you know, like you said, the Spanish football is very beautiful to watch. It's very interesting. Is different from other leagues as opposed to the Premier League and other things like that. But you know, the level of racism in Spain is high too as well. I didn't expect that.
Well, the thing about Spain, I don't know. People complain. The same with Italy. Italy used to be worse off, but over time people change. You know, the football people don't understand. It just are gaining a lot of popularity or recognition over the past 20 years. There were few players playing in Europe. That's why you see back in the days, the national team used to be the center of attention. It was just recently when the game started making a lot of money before it started attracting more foreign players. And in Spain, they are yet to cross that hurdle, even though they're integrating other players, but people still complain about the racist antics, chunking banana on the field. I can remember when one time Barcelona was playing and Danny Alves went to take a corner kick and they threw a banana. He peeled the banana, ate the banana, and threw the peeling back to them. They were the one that made Samuel Eto'o to cry from Zaragoza. When Eto'o scored, the whole stadium, they started jumping like monkey. And Ronaldinho and others were able to force him to stay on the field. So it's something that Spain is still struggling with, even though it's in other league, but it's not as visible as you will see it in the Spanish league, especially in the southern part of Spain. Like when you go to like the Basque country, you go to Sevilla, you go to places like Zaragoza. Yeah, the racists in Getafe and the fans, they are very, very racist as well. So it's something you cannot deny. It's in Germany as well, but it all depends on the level of exposure to. People don't watch the German league as compared to the Spanish league. The two top league that people watch the most is the English league, number one, in terms of TV, and Spanish league. But Germany, they got some, like you go to places like Berlin and how they call the other player, Hoffenheim. Those fans, they are some of the most racist fans you can find in Europe. But you know what? That's just the nature of the game. I tell my players, when you go over there, go and look for your money. Racism will always exist, no matter which part you find a war. Some people will just be very fancy in sealing or concealing a racism. But once we are on the planet with different color, racism will always exist. Whether you are Arab, whether you're black, whether you are white, there will always be some kind of a racism. Even worse in Eastern Europe. That's why you see a lot of players don't go to Eastern Europe. It was surprised that Samuel Eto'o went that far because it's worse over there.
Yeah. But you know, Milborn, let's hear from you. What's going on in the country? Let's transition into the Liberian politics. What's going on in the country? Any update from your end?
So yes, indeed, thank you. Today is the first Sunday in the month of June, and there are a lot of things ongoing, especially here in Liberia, ranging from the president of the Republic of Liberia going for the African summit in South Korea. So yesterday, the president departed Liberia through business class flight for South Korea to attend the 2024 Korea African Summit. We start on the 4th to the 5th of this month. So, and the president traveled along with some delegates to include the foreign affairs minister who already ahead to make sure that everything is certain. So, indeed, there are other government officials also that travel along with the president. Then also on today, Representative Yaka Koruba also have his press conference, talking about a lot of stuff, or a lot of things that are affecting the country, to include the high rates, the way things are moving on very high, prices, basic commodities, corruption, and so on. So, and you're talking about doing awareness for Liberian people to be aware of what's happening and what will be happening if maybe come to protest or so on. Indeed, and that press conference was well attended by online media that were there that cover the protest. I'm sorry, the press conference. So then also on yesterday, we witnessed, or should I say, a Guinness World Record, where a church called Grace to Liberia in Kakata, Mangibi County,
Oh yeah.
joined join together 18 couples
Marriage.
in the same church, the same day, and the same time. So
Unprecedented.
indeed, I think Liberia break record again when it comes to record breaking. So I don't know whether maybe you want to place us now into the Guinness Book of Record that indeed a church called Grace to Liberia in Kakata Magibi County joined together 18 couples on yesterday. So when that news break up, there were mixed reactions. Others were happy, but others are saying, "But why is it that people are getting married on the same day? Is whether it's right, whether it's good?" So there are some mixed reactions to that. But I think socially, maybe you and Brazilian Monk want to look into that also because we were watching a video where we saw some of the grooms or the brides, they were dancing, some of them were not happy.
I'm still watching.
Yes, and so yes. So these are something happening back home in Liberia.
Yes. You know, I look at the video yesterday, some people feel were tired. So the women there seem like they kidnapped them, they just brought them and just you know, some of the men, some of the papi there who were there too, and there was some older papi there too. They were trying to rush the men of God so they can finish with that thing and get home. You know, but you know, Mom, what is your reaction? Because me, I get a different view on it. Mom, what is your reaction?
Man, I know for one thing, I know my reaction was my country is one of the countries in the world that is noted for setting record. It's just that our records are not set for the right reason. I don't know whether we're trying to cut down costs. I don't know about mass marriage ceremony happening at once. I don't know about that, how they were able to consolidate like 18 separate couples. And I mean, even in Vegas that you can get married the same day, I don't know about church officiating 18 weddings on the very same day. So Melbourne said it right. We set another record. The only thing I cannot tell you whether for the right reason, it was their choice. I don't know why the church would even do that. How they came up. It's not about the church. It's not about the ceremony itself. It's all about being able to put 18 separate couples to get wedded on the same day. I don't know how you can come up with that because I know wedding it entails planning. You know, people put logistics together, the ceremony, everything. But to do 18 separate couples, like, it's beyond unprecedented. I don't know which adjective to use to describe that particular event. But the public will be the judge. Maybe they knew what they were doing it for, but I cannot just tell what was the intent behind it or the purpose. No.
Well, Melbourne, what is your view before I get my own?
Yes, so indeed, thank you to my brother, President Monk. And myself, I got confused because you getting married or putting people together, especially when it comes to this kind of thing, I think there is some process or some procedure, like for example, making sure that maybe they have a document to sign and so on. But the same thing that maybe that you'll be running away from, like maybe you don't want one man to be having 2, 3 women, and at the end of the day, you just put people in and say, okay, come, let's do it like this. Let's just pull you people together. As to what maybe if they feel satisfied with that, but again, you know, most women want to be protected because when they don't sign document, then that means the entire marriage. Sometimes they don't believe that indeed is the right thing to do, or maybe it's the right way to go. Until when they are seeing maybe signing 1 or 2 documents. But again, that's it. That's a choice, and that's what they want to do. But for me, putting 18 couples together, I feel something maybe that what they choose, but it's not really for me. It's not the kind of way I expect things to be. Even if you want to join people together, even whether they have funding or not, I think there's a process and there's a way that you can do it. Even if you can do it every week, you put 2 together, if you able to put 18 couples together on the same day, it'd be surprising.
So I have while we're having a conversation, I just want to do this really quick. I have a Reverend here, a Reverend who called in and would like to just chime in for 1 or 2 minutes so we can continue the program. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Steve.
Yes, please. Can you please introduce yourself real quick?
This is Pastor Joe O'Connor, Steve.
Yes. What say you about the latest? Some people say we set record. Some people say it's unprecedented. What say you?
Well, you see, for news purposes,
Mhm.
it may be strange to Liberians on the internet.
Mhm.
1993, 94 rather, in Grand Bassa County, the Unification Church of Liberia did the same thing. I think it was 24%, 1994, in Grand Bassa, the Unification Church of Liberia, headed by Sonia Moore. So it's not a strange record.
So
It's just a reoccurrence of something that happened. So it depends on whether that church is also an associate or an affiliate of the unification movement. But that's the first time for maybe a church from the Pentecostal region or charismatic end or the Baptist church. So the question is, we got to know which one of the denomination that church affiliate with. If it's an associate member or an affiliate member of the Unification Church of Liberia, then it's not a strange thing. It was done in Montserrado. It was done in Grand Bassa. But this is the first time it hit the Liberian community in the news.
So that means we have done this before as a country.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But what's the rationale behind it, man of God? What I mean, like, that's what I want to know. It's not about even they say all the occurrences or how many times. I just want to know, like, the significance of it, because I know marriage is something that you plan ahead of time, right, Steve? And it's a secret ceremony, but to just host a mass marriage ceremony like that, I don't know what is the essence. I don't know. I want to know the significance of it, like what the church was trying to achieve in that process.
That is a good question. Very good question, Brazilian monk. What is the biblical implication of what they did? Was the scriptural backing? Is it unscriptural? Is it scriptural to do what they did? Or are they having these mass marriages so to draw awareness of people who are living in having sex outside of marriage? That's the first thing. And then quickly, for another record, it also occurred around the Transfer Bible Church, but not in that mass number. It was one of those churches that was encouraging people getting married, and there were many couples that were getting married fast. And another church in the township of Batnusy, that I think it was the New Life something in the Batnusy and the Bannister around Senator Delon community. There was another church over there encouraging huge, marriage, but even occasion. But I don't know until you look at the doctrine, because some of these things, President Monk, they are dogma though. People take one scripture and they run with it, and they introduce this dogma scenario, and their members without looking at what the preacher said, the writer said prior to Matthew 16 or Matthew 17. So that's why it's good to look at these things from a historical, religious background or from the context of the Bible.
So are you also saying that there's are we saying, and I'd like to also agree before you leave, because I know you'll be on the other hand holding on to join us maybe in the political side to give your view on things here, but are you also saying that there's no precedence of this in scripture? There is no precedent of such.
It hasn't happened in huge nowhere in the Bible that it happened in this set of numbers. But then let's look at another thing again quickly. When the Unification Church of Liberia did it, some of the male couples who were getting married got married by blood, like second of blood cover them. They will inject you and take out your blood and pour it on something. It's not scriptural.
Right.
So Steve, some of these things, we are living in an age and a dispensation where the Bible said in the last days, men will increase in knowledge. But that kind of knowledge is not the knowledge that is in conformity with the Bible. Take, for instance, what happened in Kenya in recent time, where that guy introduced another doctrinal issue that is outside of the Bible. And over, 500 or 600 person or 1,000 plus kill themselves with the notion that they were going to beat the law. So people got to be careful what they are listening to, who they are listening to, who they're following, because we're living in an era where man is increasing in knowledge, but what kind of knowledge are they increasing in?
Thank you so much.
Yes,
and I want to thank. I'm glad you led us into, Pastor Jared Cummings led us into the issue of knowledge, because that's important for us to set the basis quickly to run into this before we get into the politics of the day, right? One of the scriptures that we actually read most of the times in Bible is called, because of the lack of knowledge, my people perish.
Yeah.
So I think the first thing we need to understand is, let's go back to the original meaning of that word knowledge, where it really means in Hebrew. Then we'll look at what it means in Greek, because it's important for us to understand how they translated that particular word in English to make it knowledge, right? It's very, very important. That's why sometimes we'll come on the show and some people start getting mad. We say, don't get mad. We're not against Christianity, but it's okay to teach what is right. Let me tell you something. When I hear people say knowledge is power, I don't believe that, because you can be taught the wrong thing all your life and you can live in foolishness and stupidity all of your life. So I don't believe knowledge is power.
Knowledge is not power.
I don't believe that, because I've known people who claim they have knowledge and they do what is wrong, on a daily basis, especially in our Liberian setting, right? And so the fact that there is no biblical precedent of this in itself is very confusing and strange. So there is no biblical precedence of this, whether the church, the Unification Church, or whatever church did it before, or whatever it is. And I like the fact that Pastor Jared Cummings brought context into this in Liberia. That means we have done this foolishness before. Oh yes, we have. And so before we get into it, one of our supporters and our viewer here,
his birthday,
a very strong viewer, supporter, he supports us most of the times in all of our ventures. Alexander Boniface,
yeah.
Today that his birthday. We want to say happy birthday to you, Alexander. Thank you for being a supporter. Wish you many more years. The birth month that we get here. Nobody on a birth month can just pass here to say nothing was happening. It just passed like that. The French people can say vite, vite. It just went.
And that's the point. I don't even understand how come Major ended like that.
And in that birth month, the thing that was shocking and surprising, Melbourne, he go learn that, and he refused to share it. But yes, now when I catch you now, you understand?
No wonder why the Major ended like that, because you were like praying to God so that my mom can just speak. No wonder. I see you now, my brother. So I wanted to ask the pastor a question, but I never go ahead.
No, but ask the question before we get into this definition of knowledge, and people, the word knowledge in Hebrew and in Greek, what the origin, what it really means.
Yes, good. Also my question, because most of the time you see people are divorcing, especially Christians, on the highest level. So my question, like you really try to answer, or maybe to talk about, is do they sound document, or they just put them together like that, or how things work?
So the first thing is, if any pastor tells you divorce is a sin, that pastor is a liar. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Let me say again, if your pastor told you divorce is a sin, your pastor is a liar from hell. Tell a pastor, say he's a liar. He's not reading the Bible. He doesn't know what's going on. In fact, maybe if you check your pastor history, he's been divorced more than one time. He's a hypocrite. Yeah, he. If any pastor, bishop, apostle, whoever tells you divorce is a sin, tell that pastor, bishop, apostle that they're liars. They're hypocrites. They don't know the Bible. In fact, we encourage you to leave that church and find another church where you go learn. And if your pastor is opening your mouth on a pulpit and telling you that divorce is a sin and he's been married more than one time, leave the church. Before you leave the church, make sure you put your hand up in the church and call the pastor a hypocrite before you leave the church. Be on record to do that. And in fact, when you get to heaven, the angels will be happy with you because you call all one hypocrite. So let's get that part first. Secondly, even when you marry in court, where you got to sign legal papers, you guys just have to go to the court and let them know and declare that you want to get divorced, and you get the paper and you sign it. That's it. One person can do it, both of you can do it mutually. It's up to you. In fact, Jesus himself laid out the prerequisites of people to get divorced. So divorce is acceptable. There are prerequisites for people to get divorced. So divorce is acceptable. Let me say again, it is acceptable. Any pastor, bishop that tell you that one thing, say he's a demonic liar and he's diabolical, and he needs that to be on the pulpit, and then leave that church when he finish saying that.
But the thing is, not only in Christianity, in all the three Abrahamic faith, both, I mean, Christianity, Islam, and in Judaism, divorce is accepted.
Very acceptable.
Yeah, very acceptable. It's something they say it's not laudable, but it's acceptable. It's not something that we encourage, but if the marriage is not working, it's acceptable. So
I've heard from the Catholic Church or whatever it is, or whatever now. Let me tell you something from the Catholic Church. I went to a Catholic school. The Catholics, they're from Rome. They have some very strong consecutive views on things. But they're hypocrites. Let me say it again. They're hypocrites. In a Catholic church, they tell you, oh, you can divorce or whatever it is. Some of the priests are homosexuals. They molest the little girls. Some of the priests then sleep with the sisters. Don't mind that foolishness, what they can be on. Don't waste your time with that foolishness. Passing around, as long as fully inside making noise, put ear already. You don't hear about that foolishness. Get serious and get a life. Yeah, you understand?
But Steve, I can remember I was picking bombing instant dominant, right? Our sister, our Indian nominal get pregnant, they can get to them from
they get
we be asking, but why our teachers not know that one of those follow finish locking.
But quickly, let me say that before we go to politics here. Quickly, the Hebrew word for that. Oh, I think I need to send a link to Chairman. I didn't send it to him. Chairman Representative Musa Hassan, but if he's available to join us in a political conversation, I know he might not want to get involved with a religious conversation, but let me get Reverend Cummings 1 minute. Yes. Oh, I think it was a misdial. Yeah, so they used to be shouting the Cali chair, buying the deals, on a food in there, the passing incense, making all kind of noise or whatever. They're not ready yet. They're not ready yet. They are not ready. I'm telling you, brother.
Kelly, no, they got pregnant. I can remember.
But I'm buying the deal, catch up. What is up? Yeah. It's only on that level. Yeah. But anyway, let's move on. No. So the Hebrew word for that word knowledge is yada, Y-A-D-A. That is the Hebrew. That is the Hebrew word I was translated. But in English, in Greek, the actual word for that word knowledge is it's gnosis. Quickly, let me get. It's pronounced gnosis, Gnosis. So let me get the. Yes, 1 minute, please. Go ahead.
Steve, I love the discourse. I know you guys got to run to the political aspect of it, but when people are on the radio and they're resourceful, then I love to listen. Thank you so much. And you squarely put it on the table. Divorce is not a sin. From Genesis to Revelation, nowhere it says it's a sin. Nowhere. And like you said, there are prerequisites. Marital home or marital bed has been defined either by the male or female. You have all right. If it is not working, you have all right to legally divorce that person. And I love what you did again. Jesus was also commensurating what Moses said. So you gave the woman a divorce certificate or the man a divorce certificate. Case closed. It's nowhere in the Bible it's a sin.
Thank you so much. We get some serious-minded revenue and some serious-minded people of God that stay listening and I'm reacting based on emotion. Some people think they gotta defend Bible. Some people think you gotta fight for God. How can God who made you fight for him? You make sense? God older than you, Bible older than you can fight for Bible. That's the authentic person watching mindset. They even bring it in a church where they want where they want me, God and their uncle, they got to defend God. They got to make excuses for God, my friend. God not need you. God not need you to defend him. You understand? God not, is that you passing and say you want to go fight for your pa? You have to fight for your pa? You have to fight for your pa? You're not even walking good, you can fight for your pa. You're not ready yet. You're not ready. You know, the thing we can talk on this show yet, people can get very up when they go, they sit down and think about it. Cool. It makes sense. Some people, they have fooled us with this scripture business or whatever it is. They have fooled us with the God business. They lied to us. They imprison us. They made our people that have become slaves. They use Bible to make you a slave. But on this show, one thing I let we can go here, we tell it everywhere. And may a pastor that come on the show, we'll talk Bible. We're not taught different talk. They will bring a Bible, we'll bring our Bible, we'll open it, we'll discuss it, we keep the scripture in context. And we open it to all pastors and they did it. Any pastor, maybe any man of God that reach out to you that say the thing we've been saying or who can say it that lie, they want to have a disco, then let them come.
So indeed we're waiting for them. But Fedora said if we are defending God, nobody can defend God, my brother, you are saying, because it's
my
also
brother,
yes.
brother, leave Fedora. Let me tell you something. Leave Fedora. Leave Fedora, my brother. The Christianity that they in, leave Victoria. You can't criticize Christians to some people. Some you criticize, some you say the truth. You criticize the Bible. Oh, you can't do that one. And you can't criticize the Bible. Me, I can criticize your pastor then. Those crops then. I can criticize them. Me, I can criticize them. And my criticism is biblically founded. I don't want to talk to Victoria. I want to talk to Victoria.
Quickly, 30 seconds, Steve. One of the book that I really love, even in the Bible, is the book of Jonah. See the interaction with Jonah and God. See how they were interacting. So it's not what God like, or the way you love, even Abraham. You know, but people see things like, well, better you talk. No. Look, God wants you to communicate with him. He wants you to understand some things, ask some questions, and that's why Jesus Christ was moving from place to place. Why Jesus Christ couldn't sit down and then be commanding people. Yeah.
Neighbor, if your pastor can read Bible for you, may you not get taught. Your pastor can read Bible for you and type Bible to you. Who's so trouble? What is so trouble? Think about it. Your pastor reading Bible. The other time we read about the role of deacons here, and we said Joseph Boaga should be excommunicated as a deacon in the church. And people came on the show, they started cussing, oh, you don't say like that, and the disrespectful and whatever. I stand by what I said that day. Joseph Boaga does not meet the requirement of deacon. We don't need to go spiritually to pray. We don't need to go in heaven before God say the church should restore sanity and remove him and take that deacon title from him. Let him just be regular flow memo. Let it be regular flow member. Simple. But in Liberia, most of the churches, most of the pastors, they don't have the guts. They don't have the guts to stand up and say, I will remove the president. Because you know what? Who now want the president to be deacon now? Who now want the president to be deacon? Which one the pastor did not ever get on radio before, apart from one other man of God in the market the few that I listened to, that condemned Joseph Boaga, that condemned President John Weah, that condemned Prince Joseph for even opening church?
Yeah.
Which one of the men of God are not doing? All the prominent men of God, all of them shut them off. Let me tell them something today on the show here. Let me tell them something. I want you to go study why they killed Jesus. I want you to go study who killed Jesus and why they killed Jesus. Jesus got involved with the politics. Yes. Oh, you don't know? Oh, I see. You don't even understand yourself. You don't understand yourself in our country. Jesus got involved with the government and the politics and criticized the leaders and criticized the hypocrites in the church as well. Oh, you know that? You think? I see. Okay. I see why you're confused. I see why 1 minute you're passing around. I see why 1 minute you're passing around blaming the devil for everything in your life. I see. Even when your boyfriend leave you because you cause your boyfriend and you say that the devil, I know the devil. You are rude how the man left you. You are disrespectful. In fact, you're a confused woman. You don't be passing around with butt and titty contest. Who's will keep you around? You think any man won't keep anybody that passing around exposing your business or something? And I understand yourself. You call your pastor daddy and sleeping with you. And he's will be on that level. But let's move on. Let's move to the politics. So yes, go check your Bible here. Go check your Bible. The man who washed his hand, Pontius Pilate, who washed his hand for Jesus, who was why you understand? You're not even understand Bible. You go sit down somewhere. You're no God. You're no God being. You're not no God being. Most of you. You're born in God. You're born in Christ. Some of y'all, the only reason why you want to church because when you go to church on Sunday, you're not eat. So you're forced to go to church. So it become a custom to you now. You work on Sunday morning, you put a funny thing on you go to church. All you go to church, you turn the cameraman, camera woman in the church. You don't even pay attention. Everybody taking picture, everybody taking video, everybody recording, everybody record. You don't even listen. Look, Melbourne, we got our problem in our country is fundamentally the spiritual leaders in our country. I'm telling you the truth. It is not the politicians, though. Because if you look at almost all the politicians in our country, they come from a church or they come from some kind of religious background. So they reflect all our religious background, the teachings that they receive, that the teachings they are exhibiting in public. Like, you get Joseph Bola to be a deacon and he's a crook. A deacon is a crook. And he's always saying something good come on there. That the reflection in the church now, the church will excommunicate the crook Joseph Parker. About the church will do, but they will not do it. They will not muster the courage. No pastor, no, look, let me tell you something. Our open challenge to our pastor to stand up and call Joseph Parker or and call the Baptist church or to resend Joseph Parker deaconship in the church. I challenge no pastor to do it. Let them start taking it to each other in the church. Let them start holding each other in the church accountable. Let the pastor start holding each other accountable. You will see the culture will not shift. You get Dylan there passing around, all crook passing around. Anyway, I don't want to go there. Say, yeah, I won't go there because it will be too funny. So crooks and criminals that you got going on, and all of them gonna go to church on Sunday. All of them people rolling in the church. In fact, when they church on Sunday, if you're not careful, the pastor can say that. The pastor will want to get up from his seat for them to say that.
Yeah. Oh. So then guess what now? They every government that come in, they have their own religious advisor. Where are they? What are they doing? What are they telling the government? So if you're there as a religious advisor and you remain mute and things are happening and you're not talking, then I mean no need for you to be there.
But yeah, did that story, man. We're not a religious advisor, do that thing. The religious advisor then said need to be advised. The religious advisor then said need to be advised and educated and informed. So crooks the park around and don't want you. Anyway, let that be so. I don't even want to look back in the days. The prophet then used to go to the king. Can you imagine?
John the Baptist.
David went to Nathan went to and told David, you slept with a wife. This thing will come upon you. We want our pastor to do that. We want our pastor to tell Joseph Parker say he must sit down and play and behave. Which one I can tell you? Let me see the pastor I can say that. So he said, you gotta be respectful to your elder. You gotta be the other way. You gotta be respectful to my elder. I can tell my elder than the truth. Me, I'm respectful to my elder. I don't hide the facts. I don't hide the truth. I will say whether you like it or not, your business. If you turn it as insult, respect that's your business. I don't care. You're not culture, tradition, just like religion. Passing around, so funny people that in the church. They pass on that homosexual. They pass on insecure. Someone they pass on in society. How can you be pastor? You be in society? How? How can you be pastor? Then somebody else will be washing your face. You go to one medicine and washing your face, can't probably and challenge you that you can't do nothing. How can you be pastor? You want to call small children, and some of our pastor then molesting the small children in the church. When they bring complaint in the church that something wrong happened, the molester or legate, they say, let's pray. The pastor then, hey, let's pray, and you know what, we can't do this. We don't want to bring disrepute to the church. You don't understand the role of the church. If our churches in Liberia were strict, if the churches in Liberia were strict, our pastor, our government will be okay. They will behave themselves. Well, let's move to the politics. Let's move to the politics because it's very important. My people, they say, Joseph Parker going here. You're not going here.
Where you going to South Korea, right?
Yeah, but I don't blame Joseph Parker. First of all, when Joseph Parker travel, he won't get pardon. Maybe when you look at it for Joseph Parker travel, he's not going to bring nothing. We pay a way to go there, to sit down there with Kengo and pass around. And talk funny thing there. He will come out with nothing. Then why he get talking funny thing and he get paid for each day he there.
Yeah.
Maybe that kind of solve life. Why you saw something? So I mean, Mom, I don't know what you think, but looking at that.
Well, that's it. It's a business model. It didn't start with Joseph Boaga. That's just standard operating procedure. When they travel out of the country, after the international trip, they make the most money. They go over there, they get stipends, they eat the best of food, they lodge in the best of hotel, presidential suite, they get VIP treatment, and the people on the team also get their per diems and their stipends. So it's not about what you can bring. That's why I say I don't pay attention to some of these stories because I know where they're going to yield until the president can come back and give me something tangible. I just think every trip is political, it's business as usual. It's just done for the optics. But the Liberian taxpayer, you don't benefit anything. Most of the time, you don't get nothing out. We can barely get a clear explanation as to why the trip in America and the one in, or how they call this, is that Equatorial Guinea is all about. Now you get another one for South Korea. What do you think it's all about? It's just your money, man. It was part of the budget. It's paid for. He will get more money. Matter of fact, the more trips he make, the more money he make. It's in his office budget. So it's just you there. Look, once you're not on a rescue trip, you're on your own. That's just it. It's Liberian politics, classic Liberian politics for you. They live at your expense. Look, I tell people, you got two institutions in society. You got the people who from the business side of things who come up with ideas every day to create wealth. The easiest path we can take in life is in politics because it's only politics that someone without a record or track record of success can govern other people that have already created wealth and tell you how to use your wealth. You won't find it nowhere else on the planet, only in the world of politics. So in politics, they got people who will just be there to leash on you. That's their life. That's all they do because of how society was structured. That there are certain people will be calling the shot for the states, and they are the one that make rules. They are the one that make law. Whether they are successful or not, they will be the one using your resources and telling you how to live. So the easiest path you can take in life, one of the easiest way to instant wealth is through politics, both especially in the Liberian setting. The same thing here in America, the same thing. Our lawmaker leave office here, they make 400,000, 200,000. They leave office, they worth upward of 20, 300 million. How you think they made that? It's all business interest, it's all their own self-aggrandizement. It's just that a little structure is here as compared to country like Liberia. So it's nothing new for me. So I don't pay attention to this trade when Joseph Boaga go on trade. I know I said it on the show. When real investment or investors come into the country, there are things that you will do back home that will attract them. Investors, look, you don't go chasing after investment. Investor got people all over the world that are looking for opportunity. They got the money to spend. They just want to see certain things happening to put money into a country. So when I see our leaders traveling to these countries, we're talking about investment, like, bro, the real investor come to you. You don't go running begging them. In most instances, that's not how the way. I don't see Nana Akufo-Addo or the guy from Rwanda begging everywhere, going to South Korea. No, those people over there, German corporations, compounds, multinational flowing in there every day because they know they are doing their homework.
But you know what? I was looking at the summit, in South Korea, whatever it is. It's similar to what happened in the United States here. Nothing much going on. Let me tell you today. Nothing much going on. They're not coming from Nana with nothing. South Korea and other people depending on America too as well, direct or indirect.
Yes. Well, how many people South Korea into our that you know of in the war?
I'm telling you, how many?
South Korea is a high-tech it's a high-tech country. They do semiconductor. They are the one that where America carry most of the electronic equipment for testing. That's the main process they spend. That the main process they engage into South Korea. They into technology and high-tech and semiconductors. So if you look at a country like Liberia, you cannot even provide basic services for the average person. You can beg them for something, but I don't know in terms of a business perspective, how many South Korean companies will come to Liberia? I don't see that happening.
But more. Let's hypothetically say the South Korean companies agree to come to Liberia. What? In terms of technology, do we have the infrastructure to be able to?
No. I don't want to be asking you that question to do what in Liberia?
Exactly. Do we have electricity? What electricity we have there to sustain them? What? Do you think South Korea is going to come and waste their time in Liberia?
South Korea,
Singapore, you better have light. You're liking just yesterday. Me and Melbourne were talking on the phone briefly. I couldn't even hear him. The phone tripping like nothing because they said they're facing what they're doing while again or restarting the one, they're facing that one, or facing the one. So which sound manner company coming to come waste their time to do what thing? I just don't get it. So at the end of the day, let me tell you today, y'all who voted Joseph Boaga, y'all can be clapping for him when you're getting on plane. The same way as Tunisians were clapping for Joe Weah when Joe Weah used to get on plane to go on his trips and whatever it is. Guess what? That Joseph Boaga enjoy Joseph Boaga chilling. Joseph Boaga will be fresh. And your own life that for you to clap for people when they come to power so that children can enjoy and they do better. That your own life now, that your story there. So continue. One group of people clap for one other one for 6 years. That your own time to clap for the other one for 6 years. You have to wait now. You have to wait. Me, the only thing I encourage you when Joseph Boaga then coming back, please try and carry your children with you to the airport. Carry your children with you to the airport and say, this is what I've been doing for 18 years. I supported the Unity Party for 12 years. I clapped for Ellie and Joseph Boaga. Now Joseph Boaga has come back for the last 6 years. I'm clapping. So the 18 years that you now reach, since Ellie took over, since Unity Party took over, the 18 years that you now reach at a job here, at the time I'm on a job, right? Carry them and show them. Show them the work you've been doing. Don't get very with your children. Show them what you've been doing. Let your children be proud of you as a sycophant or person worshiper or person who bring people to power, make excuses for them, cause other people for them. Bring your children and let them see what the work that you do. Please. Look, it will help. It will boost your portfolio. In fact, let me tell you something. When your children go to school or your children in the community, let them tell their friend and say, my pa is a certified sycophant and a person worshiper. They don't want to praise and worship for the president. They don't want them, they can put money on their phone for government officials, then they can call on and cost people for government officials and make plow and make excuses. That the job my pa doing or that the job my mom doing. Do that. Please do that. You should be proud of the work you do. And me, I support you. Be proud of the work that you do. And that what you want to do? That what you settle for? And that what you were in the ring bouncing around for the other time for Joseph Boaga to take power? You on your own. You juke. You juke. You juke. Joseph Boaga children in the position right now. Let me tell you right now. The position they got security. That one when you come on the show and the other one happy and you know and your advocate for the one the other one. I see somebody can call me yesterday. I watching my king trying to pull myself together, enjoy myself. Can call me, you know, and you need to talk about, you know, Stanton and somebody from Spoontor were brutalized and the Unity Party brutalized the person. I told the person, I said, you are less busy. They tell you that everything I can talk about. Oh, what do you mean? And that's something where you need to advocate. I said, no. I'm not advocating. Advocating for what? The people who bring the people to power. Oh, y'all remember? And at the same Spoon Talk, they used to collect money for Joseph Boaga then on. So what thing concern me? John Palmer West on John Rice. If United Party people grab the reporter and they decide what they want, that people that their business. That you know beyond the house. They see where I saw United Party people protesting. What thing concern me in that one? What thing that was all advocate on? What the advocate said that need to be in that one? No advocates need to be inside. We tell you say that man, he disgruntled. That man can be winning. He get history of beating winning. You say no that the man you in love with found when you go to the BWAS do. When you can't just sit outside me, you cry. When you finish crying, I look at you, look at me, we look at each other, we move. What is over here? I don't worry about. What thing I saw go talk? So today or tomorrow I go talk, you can say I know that the stupid man. You gotta put my money in Unity Party and spoon report our business. No. Anything they want to let them do with each other. Anything they want to let them do with each other. Will leave you enjoy yourself. But I'm saying to the Liberian people who voted for Joseph Boaga, who supported Joseph Boaga, you gave the Pape soft life and a very soft retirement. And I don't blame Joseph Boaga. You know what? I don't know why Joseph Boaga refused to go to the AOU summit that they had right in Africa. The Pape so go there and collect his tapping too. The Pape said sometimes he just discourage me. I will support him. He don't go Pape. Even if they have something behind a horse, I know the Pape living a rehab road, the rest are opposite Joey are there. Pape, if they're having something in Dubo Road, go there, collect your stamping. Please. Go there and collect your stamping. I beg you. You earn it. The Liberian people voted for you. Look, they came out and voted for you. Go. I'm not even fair with Joseph Boaga going on that trip. He's not coming back with nothing. You will not get nothing. You will spend behind him. Taxpayer money will go behind him free. And the good thing about it, you're going to do nothing. So that one, another waste of resources and waste of time. Who enjoying? Our Pape enjoying. The Pape enjoy. You can see the Pape wearing goggle this time. You know wearing goggle because he enjoying. Life is set for him. No more ego learning very quietly and gently. So that's the kind of life you're like. and your children and you're crying for school fee. I see some of you on the road and you're blocking the road and say marketeers, my move on the road, and you're doing what you do that one. You ain't do nothing, yo. You ain't do nothing, yo. You ain't do nothing yet. You ain't do nothing yet. You ain't do nothing yet. But mom, let move forward because I'm concerned about this. I'm concerned about Mr. Kana. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. I woke you up.
Yeah, but it's okay.
Good. Yeah, last night I brought some, so I knocked it in the morning, so I ease you.
My man, just so I mean, Sekou, the package you sent for me, your brother was able to deliver. I was in there, but he did it like the real Amazon. He drove it. I told him to put it to the door. He took a picture. He sent it. I was able to go home and get it. So thanks. I mean, I got it. The bomb, I know bomb power or bomb powder.
Well, don't call me in public. Now the problem there, yeah, you know that Melbourne now, you know, be strategic. That Melbourne in public.
So Melbourne is strategic?
No, Melbourne who ego lane start telling everybody in the community ego lane.
I don't think so.
They did that. So the church called a meeting for him, trying to get 10%. Oh, the pastor here said, "Make gotta get 10% of ego lane." So that the 10% now he go to the church today. You don't see Memo talking about church in the future. You're gonna say that.
Actually, I was listening to you guys. I didn't want to be part of the whole Bible and church conversation, so that's why I was in the back. Because some people can get angry, when you talk about religion. So, being a non-Christian, so I don't want to be caught in the middle of discussing religion. So that's why I didn't really come on right away. Sometimes you can be talking some good things, that people should learn from, whether you're a pastor or you're a church member. But as long as it's not, something that they like, people find issue with it. So I just try to stay away from that.
Yeah, but Mr. Kane, we're talking. I know for you, John, quickly. Let hear your side of this story because I told you I'm with the papi. The papi has gone to South Korea for 2 or 3 days. He left saying yesterday. So that means he will get Param from yesterday, today, Sunday. The stuff that on the 4th. It start on the 4th. I think on Tuesday, Wednesday. So Thursday we get other Param. Maybe he'll be back Friday. But my only thing here, Mr. Kane, what say you? Because when you look at it for Chuchu, my honest view, the papi living soft life. He's traveling long distances to collect the longer Padam from what I looked at. So he's strategic. The one I read in Africa and saying I won't go there. A few days ago they had one in Africa and saying I won't go there because maybe the court will be small. You won't go long distances. When we play football, they play the ball long. So like Sunday. What say you? Do you think we get anything from that the other trip to South Korea?
Actually, I'm not sure about what we are getting or what Labrador turn to benefit. But what I know, I read an article. Actually, there's something from the Koreans themselves. They were talking about the program, talk about how many countries, and they talk about the summit as a whole. All African countries were invited, and they say that because of some reason, some other country will not make it, but Labrador is going to be there. But the interesting part of it was that they have about 4 country presidents that are scheduled to have a one-on-one or to have a dinner with the Korean president. And Liberia was not a part of that. Liberia is not a part of those countries that actually will have time in an exclusive meeting with the Korean president. You have the president of Sierra Leone, and you have, I think, four other presidents. I'm not looking at it right now. I heard the information firstly from Robert Gagwa of closing argument, but I just went and did my own research, and I actually read it. It's 100% true. And I also learned that Liberians delegation of people, the advanced team led by the foreign minister, they were trying to actually make the arrangement for the president to be a part of that. And I think they didn't see light the last time I checked. So, and I also had the opportunity to talk to somebody. This trip to South Korea is more about the pandemic. What they're going to get from Liberia from what they're going to get from the coffers versus what they're going to get from Korea. It's not about getting anything out of there. It's about people who are traveling. We are traveling. Joseph Burger got certain amount of money that you'll be getting on a daily basis. So all the people that are traveling, the likes of DeLong and other people who are traveling along with the president on an official, visit like that, they all got some budget pocket change. Nana when they say pocket change, Nana they pocket change now, Nana $200, $300, $500, $1,000 business we're talking about here. Some good money that when they come back, they can use it for something else on themselves. But mostly the travel is about getting a kickback. It's about what they get from Liberian cover, what they can spend and what go to their pocket. Like they will do on those road construction. Let's say when they have a road construction, the construction company will sometimes charge them $1 million and they will budget $2 or $3 million. Take $3 million from the Liberian people, then the $1 million will go to the company, and then the other $2 million they will share among themselves.
Yeah.
They call it the kickback. So mostly they engage in these activities, especially they traveling, just for the money they're going to get. So it's not about getting anything out of it. Nothing is expected unless they come out and tell us something. But for now, nothing is expected except for where will go in their pocket.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Kane. Well, I want to move on to quickly to Yeke's. I'm not sure if you follow the press conference with Honorable Yeke Koluba. Monk, what is your impression of the press conference of Honorable Yeke Koluba? I'm not sure if you were able to follow it.
I never watched it live. I got a link. Someone sent me the link, but I never had the time to watch it. But I just know what that particular press conference is going to be horrible anyway. Yeke believed that his credibility is on the line, that he'd been a staunch advocate and he jumped on this rescue train, and everything he predicted is exactly what's happening. And he think that he was the one that helped to dress the devil and he want to undress the devil. That's just what it's all about. And Yeke is not doing this thing for political reason because he did it to the other side. Except that the ones that are in power today never got a memo that Yeke is not someone to be messed with. He's not going to compromise on his own principle. And he believed that he's a staunch advocate. That's why he won with the highest margin of all our lawmakers in Liberia in terms of proportionality of the vote. And he doesn't spend a penny. People bring their own t-shirt. They come to his rally. They support his causes. He believed that he got a bigger stake in Liberian politics to jeopardize it for some political maneuvering or to try to play a bootlegger to the president. So he believed that since he was one of those that helped to address the devil, he's going to address it once they keep doing the wrong thing. That's exactly what these protests are all about. And Yeke is the one pushing for it again. I believe I didn't watch it, but at least he gave us some hint as to what he was going to do. And he's sticking to his promise that when he comes from Ghana or wherever he traveled to, he was going to engage in the protest or peaceful protest. And that's exactly what Yeke is doing. So nothing new when it comes to Yeke.
So, Mr. Kane, before you react, I wanted to react to this as well. Representative Yeke Koba said a lot of different things, but two things that caught my attention, two major things. The first one is the meeting of, allegedly the meeting of Jose Yuman Boaka with Asila Mita, big man or executive. Jose Yuman Boaka, his son met with him, according to Yeke, allegedly, and $4 million United States dollars was promised as opposed to 6, or was given, quote unquote. What say you about that? What does that really say?
Well, that is a very big allegation, and
Yes.
as SKTV, we always like to authenticate for ourselves to get some facts attached. Maybe from the back we can get some more information from Honorable Yeka Kolba. But if everything remain constant, should we take Yeke Kolba's statement at face value? I think it is disturbing, but that's just one. There are a lot of other deals going on behind the scenes. People that went and negotiated selling of Wilbisi Mountain, talking about just the bonus that they were expecting is close to 30 million. If those people take 4 million, should not be a big deal. But the good thing about what Yeke said is that the astrometer person that he mentioned is expected to appear before the house. So maybe we will get more out of the person. I'm not sure after Yeke making this public revelation on this issue will go well with the government. And I'm not sure whether the person in question will be free and be willing to actually unveil some of the information publicly or to the House. Bottom line is, since Joseph Boakai took over, the way we say it has been almost 6 months now. It's all about one money scandal after another. It is now 40 million. It is not 360,000. It is not 10 million LeBron dollar. It's not 30 United States million. You know, almost everything. There has been one money scandal to another scandal of the Joseph Boakai government, which is very, very, unbearable. I don't know how LeBron going to, add, but Liberia, sometimes I can be actually reluctant to even come to talk about some of the flaws of the government because you're just saying it, you're wasting your time. Our people, they gravitate towards new information every day, but they can't do anything with it. In fact, those in the diaspora are even better. They can get angry, they can get agitated if they were actually in Liberia. There will have been some actions, but people in Liberia, they don't care. As long, they are kind of accustomed to hardship and dealing with criminals and corrupt government officials. So they think it's normal. You and I would think it's bad. It's not a good thing. It will keep the country backward. But the people in Liberia, they think it's okay. It's normal. That's what they deserve. For them, when you are elected in public office in Liberia, you are there to enrich yourself. So whatever they do, they think it's normal, and it's not a big deal.
Okay. Yeah. Monk, you have any other reaction you wanted to give?
For me, you know, in like when it comes to Liberian politics and the way our people and the people in leadership interact, it's almost like a dichotomy, right? It's and at the same time confusing. You look at our country, you're talking about two of your largest iron ore deposit that is coming on criticism or scrutiny from opposition and other Liberians alike about shady deals. And you tell the same people that you are going out there in the name of looking for investment. How do you even balance the two? That you look at a guy. Let me take for example with the or PLG group, right? Or Russian so-called billionaire that is been sanctioned, and you bring a company that does not exist to provide cover for him, right? And then you jet on a plane and tell Labrampo you're going to look for investors. How does that sound to you? Like, investor will not put money in places that are or countries that are more corrupt. I'm talking about legitimate investor. I'm talking about the money launderers that are passing around, masquerading as investor. I'm talking about real business investor. They look at your judicial system, they look at the investment system in your country, they look at laws, business law, they look at regulation. If you, the chief executive, can have people on your team that engage into shady and criminal activity all the time, that is out there in the media, how can you tell the average man like, brother, I'm going out there to go look for investor? It's just a lie. But Sekou said it right. Our people believe that the way they live over there is normal, it's standard operating procedure. So at a certain point in time, it's like you are just singing to the choir. It's not going to change anything because the people themselves, they just believe that that's normal activity. We got to wait for another 6 years again, maybe roll it down and somehow, by some magical means, hope that something will happen. But it's the same old thing one day after another. So nothing changed, bro.
Steve, you're muted. Nobody hearing you.
Sorry about that. Monk, we have preempted and we have said some things on SKTV here. Yeah, they might seem very strange. They might seem, people say, unorthodox, but we've predicted based on, and we started this during the George Weah-led government administration. We started this based on different sound signals that were sent out. Honorable Yege Koluba also talked about going to different counties to create awareness. And lastly, he talked about the possibility of sanctions. Very, very soon on the Joseph Yuma Boakai administration. I want to keep that sanction question, that sanction conversation in place. Speaking of most recent death, or allegedly the military sergeant, one of the military sergeants, who they said shot himself 6 times. I mean, all of these bad, discouraging headlines coming from the country. What really say you in terms of investment, in terms of sanction? Do you think the Joseph Boakai-led government is setting themselves up for sanction?
Most likely. If you engage in any kind of a huge deals and partnering around, one of the toughest policies of the Bush administration when doing the Patriot Act that the party say, Bush doctrine was anyone who harbor a criminal or a terrorist is also a criminal or a terrorist. You cannot claim to be someone that is not of a terrorist mindset and harbor a terrorist. You cannot say you are corrupt and then you do business with someone who is corrupt. It's a contradiction. And the whole possibility of a sanction is not far-fetched. And Joseph Boakai is creating the ground for that. Look, I keep saying it. Whether it's the Amra Kona, whether it's the Yege Koluba, whether they are the staunch supporter of Joseph Boakai, they are the one calling out this thing. At this stage, it's not the SKTV, it's not me, it's not you, it's not Sekou, or people who they claimed or deemed to be opposition. The same people that dress the devil, they are the one calling us. They are the one making the projection. They are the one that are mad. And so it's not coming from somewhere else. Steve, let me give you one typical example. I woke up this morning. That was a certain news about Labrak and just skip it because I know that they get something called human vibrational frequency with health. When you keep getting bad news and all the time, it can dampen your mood as a human being and make you sicker. The more positive news you get, the more energized it becomes. Sometimes I can just deliberately skip this news, but you cannot. I keep saying it. You don't find something positive to be cheerful about when you wake up. I woke up this morning. I'm seeing the thing about Miata family. Just a typical example.
Yeah.
extending congratulations, her Meta family, or she had a meticulous planning and the inaugural activity that Joseph Boakai reiterated his utmost confidence. I was like, the papa is a comedian. The old man is more than deceptive. It was the same Miata family that told you she had one of the most disastrous inaugural activity in the history of Liberia. That was a flop. The same Miata family that told us say that she was never in control because Unity Party people actually tried to kick off all of her duties to be the one heading the whole inaugural activity. It was the same one that said she was overshadowed and separating her office operation from that of Unity Party. It was Miata family who said she was recommending Kwame Clement because of his eloquence and because of the fact that he had this background in foreign, all these things that he could pronounce people's name better. Other people said no. Is it the same Miata family that telling us that you're sending all these, you heaping up praise? Look, man, I don't know. Sorry, Sticky. I mean, maybe, you know.
Thank you, Monk. Mr. Kane, what say you? I'm glad Monk brought in the Miata family stuff. Joseph Boakai on the inauguration where other people were invited, embarrassed Liberia, based on the planning. Miata family was forwarded to GAC for them to do an investigation on the whole inauguration saga and the money that was allocated and all of that. We've now had a report. Joseph Boakai jumps in front of the GAC to commend and praise Miata family. What say you? It's shocking, strange, and I don't understand.
It was not done by Joseph Boakai.
Where you calling from?
It was not done by. I just muted. I just tried to mute him.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it was not done by Joseph Boakai. You know, we have told you guys Joseph Boakai is not in control. Does not know what's going on. The people around him, everybody doing their own thing. In fact, they are in competition with each other. You know, for the fight. The fight for the control of Joseph Boakai. So that Miata family thing you see over there is not about the inauguration. Inauguration finished a long time ago. Something else behind it. And Miata family, that thing what you saw over there, it just covered up. Miata family need will come up and other stuff. They got to do with money business. So some of them believe that there are some within the Boakai inner cycle that are trying to throw her under the bus. The other are taking preemptive strike, trying to make her look good. Before you make her bad, before you make her to look bad, let's come and bring praises on her, make her to look good. But just watch and see. The other family new will come up on something bigger than that whole inauguration thing. It's all about money business. That's what I can tell you so far. I didn't want to talk about it until we got all the information, but since Mom brought it up, we'll talk. Hey, that one got nothing to do with the inauguration. That pushed it forward.
Okay, so it's a preemptive strike, like you said.
Yeah.
But Mr. Kane, let's talk. Since we
not to cover up.
So since you talk about this and you don't want us to delve into it right now, then my question becomes: this guy who, quote unquote, allegedly shot himself 6 times, which I've never heard in my life. I've never even read it before or anywhere or saw it on a screen that somebody would shoot themselves 6 times. They even say 1 time. They said 6 times that they're talking to a bunch of stupid people. What say you about that vis-a-vis, the image and what's been put out there from an international standpoint?
Nobody can shoot themselves 5 times. Even if you are not a military personnel, If you went somewhere to buy a gun and they're teaching you how to shoot, by the time you shoot like this, your hand straight like this, by the time the bullet's getting out, your hand will go like this, like this, like this. That's why you can see people aiming, but it's hard for them to get to exactly where they want to get to because it's tough. Gun is very powerful. Whether these little pistols or rifle, any gun is very powerful. Even the one you hold with your two hands, it pulls you either forward or backward or left to right. So there's no way you're going to shot yourself one time, bullet enter your soul, your hair, and any part of your body, that you'll be able to continuously shot yourself. Even when you put a gun on auto, your finger on the trigger, by the time one bullet hits you, you will not be able to press the trigger again for another one. So somebody might have assassinated the guy and they try to cover it up. And this is way bigger than that one person. Whoever killed him is going to come up. You remember Prince Johnson said on the case of the EPS officer that was killed, he said it was right behind his house or somebody's house. There is no way one person can shoot himself 3 times in the head. Now, he said Joe people then killed the guy because of the talk about somebody shooting themselves 3 times. Now, Joseph Baga, people then can shoot themselves 6 times. It's just like everything Joe can do better than them. Joe on the person, they say he shot himself 3 times. Joseph Baga won 6 times. Joe, Joe then mismanaged, 25 million on the map of exercise. Joseph Baga, 19 million got missing in the first month. Now 22 million. They have squandered it. They're begging for it. They say we apologize. For somebody to even say or to have said that we rushed into spending 22 million United States dollars simply because we wanted to meet with the 100-day promise or 100-day plan said by Joseph Boakai. That alone in itself. And then that 100 days plan or promise that Joseph Boakai made, you did not even meet 15% of it or 20% of it. By your own reporting, you achieve 10% of 100. So anything that got to do with Joseph Boakai government has been about scandal upon scandal, scandal upon scandal. But the worst of it, people were dying under Jowia mysteriously. Now people now start dying again, either doing protests. But this one is in the wrong place, Steve and Melbourne, to have military personnel killing themselves. Somebody saying that they killed themselves. This will not go free. Just watch and see. The actual story will come out. And those who killed the person will know. But I don't think this is a suicide. I think this is a murder. And I believe the truth will come out.
Thank you so much. Milbo, is there any way we can take some calls? I'm not sure. I should have alerted you earlier. So please.
No, let him try. If you can do it, that's fine. Let him try from what you say. Remember, you can do it from that place. Just try it and see what happens. But you're muted though.
Yeah, so sorry. Even though there were some mixed reactions to the president traveling with business or flight. So 07777 285 961. That's the number to call for those of you who've been following us. Again, 07777 285 961. Call in to be part of the show right here on the SKTV, Truth FM 96.1. To this first caller. Hello. Yeah, my brother. Good evening. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Hello. You said? All right. Thank you. You are talking about the price of rice. To this caller. Good evening. Yeah, my brother. Go ahead. Your name and from where you join us. Yeah, go ahead. So then what happened to other Spoon FM people too that also talking? Are you asking me or are you following? All right. Either maybe you're not following. Hello, to this caller. Good evening. Oh, 07777 285 961. Again, that's the number to call. 07777 285 961. Talking is the best thing to do. It's better that we talk than to go into the bushes. So don't get angry when people are talking. I think it's good that they talk. So again, 07777 285 961. That's the number to call. Or let me see this. Line one is like, yeah. So okay. So call line two. Line two is 0888382. I come in. Yeah, sorry, because line one just on off. So let me just bring you line two quickly. Sorry though, to those of you who call in line one, let me bring you line two number so that you can call in to be part of the show. Yeah, sorry, having small issues. Yeah, so line one just go off like that. Yes. So again, 07777 382 961. Again, 07777 382, that line two. Call line two to be part of the show. Sorry, that line one just, yeah, went off like that. So we are switching line two on here. Yeah, sorry for the inconvenience. All right, so I'm going to use line 0770 203125. Again, 0770 203125. That's the number to call for you to be part of the show right here on Truth FM. Again, 0770 203125. Hello, to this caller. Hello. Yeah, my brother, good. Go ahead. All right, thank you. So, hello to this caller, sorry. Hello, you guys, Germany land to extend our 0770 203125 against 0770 203125. To this caller, hello. Yeah, my brother, go ahead. Yeah, my brother, good evening. Go ahead, Jackson.
I think we can forget about the calling thing. It's not working. I'm not hearing anything. Maybe Steve is hearing it, but I'm not hearing anything. Yeah, so we should not put Mabel in a situation you can't handle.
Yeah, that's
All
why
right, thank you so much. Even though your friends are saying that we shouldn't talk, we talk tired. They didn't say they will be talking to until they get tired. Go ahead. Hello to this caller. Yeah, my brother, go ahead. Your name and from where you join us. Okay, go ahead, brother.
maybe we're not hearing the people.
All right, so yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. So maybe I'm elected transition in Studio 2. Yeah, so that we can join our people and do the talking. So you can take over for now while I transition in Studio 2.
You think we'll have a few time, Mabel? Because we don't have like a. You're gonna be there for a little bit to take some calls. So you have a. Yeah, we'll try to do that. Let's see what happens. Try to do that. So, Steve.
Yeah. The line was not good. Like you said, I didn't hear most of them. Um, but good that Melbourne would transition so that we can maybe hear a few of them. Mr. Kana, how do you react? We're back though. So they're saying the whole talk tired. They're not putting me on the phone. It's very, very interesting. But at the end of the day, the boys in the Liberian People's Court, we know this is a disaster. They're setting themselves up for failure. So the joke is on Unity Party. But Mr. Kane, what say you? Yeke wants the Liberian people to rally around to hold Joseph Boakai accountable, whether through protests or other means. What say you?
It is Yeke's right. Like it was Joseph Boakai and the United Party people right, to protest in the past. So protest is not a bad thing. Protest is good. And we should all encourage the Liberian government to allow people to protest if they want to. It is part of their fundamental right under our constitution. So it's not a bad thing. And I think people should care more about the nature of the protest, if it can be peaceful, and about the issue. And if the government too will protect the protesters and allow them to exercise their franchise, I don't think that's a bad thing. The only thing is we don't know whether the government will be tolerant enough to allow the people to protest at will. And that is my concern. But Yeka Kolba is doing something that we are yet to see from any other opposition in Liberia. And Yeka Kolba being one of those people that brought this government to power, and at the same time be in the vanguard of holding the government accountable. I think that is commendable, and I believe the government should not have a problem with it. You should allow him and others to protest. Joseph Parker was part of the last protest. The other major protest, two major protests, especially the notable one, the one that happened on June 7th, Joseph Parker was part of that. Darrell Dillon was part of that. Yomli Kanga Lawrence was part of that, and other rescue members were part of that protest. So protest is not a good thing. I mean, it's not a bad thing. I'm sorry. So I think it's good. I would just ask Yeke and those who will be involved in the protest to just make sure it's peaceful, and they should actually tune down the rhetoric when it comes to inciting the people as to how and what to do during the protest. Because, Mabel, what's going on? You're muted.
Yeah, sorry that someone's setting up for me. So let me see. Maybe we'll take a few minutes. If possible, if not, then we just talk. Maybe
hopefully that person will do it. That's good. Thank you. Yeah. So Steve, bottom line is protest is not a bad thing. Protest is a good thing. But somebody asked, what are they protesting? Well, there are a lot of things going on in the country. Maybe the way we do protest in Liberia is different. In Liberia, they say you should get permit before you can protest. I don't even know what kind of protest is that. Protests should not be organized like a plan for days, for this, for that. That one can also happen. But protesting against some ills in the society, corruption in government, mismanagement of the people's money, and lack of, clean drinking water, lack of electricity, rice price going up, gasoline price going up, and the exchange rate going up. All of those things are valid reason to protest. Protest, maybe people kind of like misconstrue the definition of protest. Protest does not mean violent or kill people or arrest people or, destroy cars and go to places and throw stone. No. Protest means to assemble and send a message to your government that you're not happy about a certain thing. And you can present those things that you have problem with to your government. Protest, that's what protest should be. But the way we conduct ourselves, the way we also define protest in Liberia, kind of like make you about to feel like, protest can bring war. Protest can bring war. If protest was to bring war, protest was to bring war under Ellen Johnson Sirleaf government or the CDC. If protest was going to bring war, protest was going to bring war under Georgia government or the Senior Unity Party people and their supporters. So protest didn't bring war under Ellen, not George Weah. So protest will not bring war under Joseph Boakai. And Liberian, by and large, they don't want to see war anymore. But their fundamental right should be protected by allowing them to protest without any harassment or intimidation.
Yeah, but Mr. Kana, I like the fact that Honorable Yege Kolba did not disclose any specifics.
Okay.
Maybe
I didn't listen to the whole thing. I was off and on. I was sleeping.
Yeah, I listened to it. No specifics where, and I will hope it will keep that way. Protests normally have to be spontaneous and simultaneous. And not something where you can go play on whatever it is. And so long the constitution guarantee it, no police law should tell you to go take permit. It doesn't make any sense. Because if you are protesting simultaneously and spontaneously, you don't need permit for that. You don't. Because they want to organize it and control it. So it will not, so they can kill the momentum or whatever. That is the strategy. So when they say you might go take permit and do the one, do that one, the military wives when they were doing their protest that time, did they take permit for anybody? When they were doing it all the way in different countries, they took protest, they took permit for nobody should listen to that permit foolishness. It's a waste of time. It's to honor whatever protest people want to plan, and that's it. Let it be simultaneous and spontaneous. Simple. That's it. Don't let them know what thing. It is constitutional. So long as it's constitutional, that means it can happen. It must happen. Simple. The Constitution is bigger than any other law that put down in the country. The Constitution I say you might go take permit. The Constitution say you might go drum and pass around the place. That thing what cost that and order put them did in order for you to fall in line, for you to organize and make yourself something. No. It is a people constitutional right, and I believe it must be done that way. And one thing I will say, me personally, I listen to Yeke clearly. The first thing on the record is Yeke has been consistent with his advocacy. Very, very consistent with his advocacy. Secondly, whether you want to say Sekou has been political or not, yes, this should be the role of political opposition, political parties, and political leaders. When you are an opposition political leader, opposition means opposition. You don't sit around. You don't hang on the fence. No, you don't. You hold the government accountable when they're doing wrong. Now, if the government is doing good as opposition, then you sit quietly, or you acknowledge the good that they're doing. But and silence could mean consent. But to sit around and say and make it look like, oh, and Yeke then should come and tell the government when they want to have the protest and get a permit and do that one. You don't even settle for that foolishness. No, you don't settle for that. Nobody should settle for that. Peaceful assembling is constitutional. It is constitutional. So people can wake up tomorrow and say there were someone in Grand there. At the same time, there will be assembly in Maryland. At the same time, there will be in Lima County. At the same time, there will be in Monserrato. At the same time, there will be in Grand Bassa. They can do that. They can do that. So nobody should be afraid, or nobody should make anybody afraid for that. That one is something that can be done. To the opposition leaders, to those who are in oppositions, those who are in the opposition, I mean, you can't shy away from these moments. Politics seize the moment and opportunity. Let me say this to all the opposition leaders: Tiawan Gonglo, Clarence Moluba, Alexander B. Cummings, George Weah, and every other opposition leader in our country. Nobody should shy away from any protest. The government is proceeding wrongly. They are proceeding corruptly. And when I say the government, I even talk about the Senate, the House of Representatives, the executive, all of them. So none of them should shy away from it. And this idea that protest can bring war, protest has never brought war. That's not true. The arrest riot was not the leading cause of the war in Liberia. No, that's not true. People protested during the arrest riot, and it was the right thing to do to protest during the arrest riot. It was after a couple of years or a couple of months that preceded the war in Liberia. So the war preceded after the protest. It was not the protest that brought the war. They're two different things. Protests don't bring war. Nobody should lie that protest can bring war. Protest does not bring war. In fact, I will encourage you, instead of crying and calling people to send money for you, and instead of just limiting your call for government to do what is right, to come in on the talk show or whatever it is, be part of the protests. Be engaged, be involved. Be part of it to hold the government accountable. And I can say to the Liberian people, if you're carrying on a simultaneous protest, well-meaning protest, well-defined, with all it being undermined, with all any kind of funny movement, the government will have two options. They will either fall in line to do what is right or they'll step aside. When I say the government, I mean all of them, including the Dillon, the young leader, all that foolishness, what they're doing. They will have to go. Yep, they will have to go. And you need to be serious about it. You need to definitely be serious about it. You can't joke around. You can't compromise it. You can't mess around. Nobody should go take money behind closed door. Nobody should sit down and make jokes or go be from meeting to meeting. Like what course I used to do it, to go and wear glasses, come and say they're having meeting. They finish collecting money. Juma Jala, I'm not a slave like you, so I don't need to go to Liberia. The influence I got, the conversation how you never have it till you die. So again, protest is very important. And it must be held. Those of you who are crying, those of you who are sick and tired, even if you supported this government and you are ashamed, join the movement. Yes. There's nothing wrong with joining the movement. And Yeke is doing nothing wrong by holding the government accountable. I'm not talking about the extra stuff. Whether that Katumu, whether that Waka children, that one, I'm not interested in that one. That one, and I'm my business. I'm not interested in it. That one is, but on national issues, yes, Yeke is doing far better. And Yeke should definitely be complimented. The political parties need to come out and show support for this. Why I need to be afraid of? The people carrying the country down the drain. Let me tell you today, the country going into the septic tank. The country is going down. The men and better took over 22 million gone. 22 million gone. The thing you said there is no YFP. There is no the other one. There is no the other one. They're making all the excuses, but they enrich themselves. They get fat packets. So yes, protest is necessary. Protest is needed, and it must be done. And how funny protesting. It shouldn't be no funny protest. It should be very, very serious. Seditions, people from the ANC, people from Tiawan Gonglo Party, people from Clarence Moluba Party. Let even Clarence Moluba and Tiawan Gonglo, all of them be part of it. Yes, to send us. You can sit on the fence and wait till la me into time. All of you need to add your voices to it, and you need to be part of it. That's what people do. And if any government comes after Joseph Yuma Boaka government, and you do the same thing, yes, the Liberian people should protest against you too. Yes. You get involved with criminality, the Liberian people should protest against you. I think the guys in Liberia should be leaving us soon. If you're in the diaspora and you want to contribute before we leave for today, you can definitely call me. Those of you that have my number, rest assured that I will not put my private number on line on the show. I will not do that. So if you're here, my private or personal number, I'm not going to do that. But let's say you're here and you want to contribute, and all you got to say quickly in the next 2 or 3 minutes, quickly in the next 2 or 3 minutes, and I will be calling it a day. Yeah, the same way William winning, the same way how you carry your family for Joseph Boyer to protest against United Party. Definitely. If you can show me a picture of your family, your children, your pa, your mom, your grandpa, your great-grand, the entire generation, if you can show me a picture of all of them that they protesting during the June 7th, definitely I will show you a picture of my family too, and my entire generation protesting. I don't have an issue with that. I can do that. But let's show the proof. If you can show a proof of you carrying your family to the protest, definitely I will do that. My family lives in Liberia anyway, so they're not an issue. So folks, that's Mr. Kana, have you got any calls from over there? From your end?
I was not by the computer. I left.
Oh, okay.
I went downstairs. So yeah, yeah, let me see if there were any calls. Let's see here.
Yeah, I got a call here.
No call.
Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from, please?
Hey Moses, it's Lofa.
Hey, Lofa, what's up, bro?
Not much. Happy first Sunday.
Yeah, my man. Same to you.
You're supposed to be happy. You sound like you, man, bro.
No, I'm not, my man. You know, our father there around the corner when I get the women that say anything when the mother day king were all here jumping around thinking them. I'm here to say not even father, they're not even around the corner. You can't even see them writing about it.
No, it's all right. Beverly already got something in and talk for me. She already told me what's up, so I ain't worried about that. I know I'll be good. But I mean, honestly, let me start off by first of all saying to all of the kids of Liberian parents graduating this year, whether from high school or college, congratulations to you all. We would need you to build Liberia, work harder, and bring to Liberia what you have acquired and make us a much more vibrant society so that we can compete with other nations around the world. So congratulations, all of you guys. Regarding what you guys are discussing, I hear people, yes, I think it was the previous show when you guys spoke about participations in the protests. Somebody wrote, or somebody called, as a matter of fact, and asked that you go back home and contribute to the protest. I wish these would have been the same people calling on us to go back home when we were actually supporting the idea of the June 7 protests. Okay? When some of them were benefiting from your hard-earned money to purchase water for them to drink and food, possibly. Okay? I wish they were calling to say, no, we will not take whatever contribution you made because you're not here. This is the level of hypocrisy that we speak to every day. And because a few of us who feel like when our relatives are in government, it's okay for us to now join the bandwagon. We become the bandwagonists. And we don't see the country as a whole to fight for transformation. We jump on the bandwagon and support our relatives. I made a post earlier today, Moses, about Fanatic Kofa and several other lawmakers who would get on plane, leave Liberia, and come here to celebrate their kids' graduation. They're graduating with quality education, and they are, competitive. But when you look at our education system, Moses, it's in a deplorable condition. But their kids are here acquiring the best of education. Why? The people who hire them to do a piece of job, okay, the job entails having to transform the system. And part of the system is the education system, the healthcare system, and other aspects of it, other sectors. You failed miserably and continue to fail to get that done. But your kids are over here, you're benefiting from a system that works. And then when you talk about it, people say, oh, why are you talking about his kids? Our kids are American citizens and they were born in America. So if he knew his kids were American citizens, why he didn't stay in America to work in America and become a representative or a senator in America? Liberia? Isn't it because he felt like you could transform Liberia or impact change in Liberia? If he cannot do it, then how is it that we cannot make the needed comparison? And then some of these idiots and morons on the social media will come in their defense. When our brothers and sisters back home are literally they're being victimized. And then these clowns will come on here in defense of these guys. You don't think our brothers and sisters deserve quality education? How many of you walk around with chairs in your hand from one classroom to another? How many of you sit in your classroom, or how many of you and your kids sit in classroom where when it rains, the water is pouring on them? How many of your kids go through that? How many of your kids go to school hungry in the way or just dirty? And the teachers don't say anything. You don't think our brothers and sisters back home deserve better? You allow these lawmakers to do these things. And then you sit and say, some of us are supposed to keep our mouth shut because you guys are now in power. Or because somebody who is highlighting this thing is now part of your political party. And we're supposed to just shut our mouth. And it's okay.
Thank you, Lufa.
I'll say this, man. Thank you, bro. You guys, again, we can't give up. We can't give up because there will always be few in our midst who feel like they should challenge us instead of looking at the status quo and joining ranks for other people so that we can help to make sure that change comes to Liberia. Thank you, Moses.
Thank you. Yeah, I follow Lufa's post this morning, and some girl that was insulting him, and I just laughed. When you respond to them, then they say you rude or you disrespectful. But she came on the man's post literally to insult him, and I just read it. She tried the same thing with me the other time. I wrote a post to concern her. One girl in Liberia, where he need daughter. The current ACO chairman daughter.
Chairman?
Yes.
Ansu Dole?
The current ACO political leader daughter. I mean, not the chairman. Lucini Kamara daughter. She in the constant habit of coming on people's posts.
Who is?
I know McCanvey or whatever her name is. She very disrespectful. She came on my post to insult me. She was on the Lofa post insulting me.
How did you know who she is, Lucini Kamara daughter?
I really don't know reason who she is.
Okay. Well, I don't even know her. So
yeah, she can just kind of just cuss and call people all kind of names. Yeah, I look how long I did it when I didn't worry about it. But back to the issue, Mr. Cannon, because at the end of the day, you guys are Unity Party partisans who come here with distractions or whatever it is. Listen, we welcome everybody. Your views are welcome.
We have some call from Europe. Do you want to take it?
And accept it. Yeah, please go ahead, Mr. Cannon.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, good brother.
Hey, my brother, how are you? This is Mike, right?
I'm good. This is Mike from Sweden.
Sweden, go ahead.
Yes, sir. You guys are doing a fantastic job, right? Yeah. You hear me?
Yeah, we're hearing you. You're live and clear.
Yeah, Mike from Sweden.
You're very loud and clear.
That's a fantastic job to keep the struggle going. But one of the things here, Brother Sekou, is that the weak opposition in Liberia. I heard Steve talking, right? The weak opposition in Liberia is one of the reasons why the country will continue going in the direction it's going. From Ellen Johnson down up to this current government, the weak opposition, they want the Liberian people, the ordinary Liberian people, to get in the street before they go get in the street. The leaders of the opposition, they need to get on their backside and lead the struggle, and the people will follow. The people will not jump in the street before they come from in the honor and call themselves, say, oh yeah, they are opposition. How many times one year will be carrying the cross on his shoulder and stay here wearing the secondary suit and sitting behind the computer and stuff? Okay? Our country is like this. When we were picking this tea order, I went to that. So now the old man is finished cooking. You say, how are you eating here in the war and I come to the war coming to an end? So our people then is like, they're looking at our brother, they war coming to an end. So what you want to do to Chile country, that country be there and I go coming. So that our country looking, it's like a war coming to an end. So why should we fight for any transformation? Okay? You guys will just turn the radio, you'll be doing your best, but nothing will ever change our country. Yeah, thank you, my brother. Sekou and Steve.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much for always following SK TV. That's Mike from all the way Sweden, Europe. Again, I want to say thank you to all of you for following SK TV. And while we were on the show, I think somebody sent us $25. The last time we were on here on Friday, Monk said we will, because we were expecting at least, he wanted us to have at least 20 to 30 people contributing to SKTV on Friday. And we end up getting about 16 people. We didn't get to 20 or 30. So he said we will continue. So somebody sent us $25 today. Just want to let a person know that we receive it. The first name there, I'm not going to call the full name. The first name is Rebecca. Rebecca, I want to say thank you for sending $25 to SKTV. We appreciate it. Send it to Zell. So Rebecca, thank you so much. We appreciate you. So, with respect to people who can come on the platform to disrespect, to insult, or coming acting as if they are the first son of or daughter of Joseph Boakai, that when you criticize the government or criticize Joseph Boakai, then you are committing crime or committing sin. They insult you, they disrespect you. I want you guys to know that your insult and disrespect will not stop anything. It will not stop us from talking. It will not stop us from talking. It will not actually stop us from criticizing Joseph Boakai and the government. The only thing that can stop us is encouraging to do the right thing for the Liberian people. That's why they were elected. But if you think insulting or distracting us, coming here to talk trash, will actually stop us from talking, you are joking. Like Lofa rightly said, we are in this thing for Liberia. The people that you are defending, their children and themselves, they are better off. They're doing very well. They're doing very well at your expense, or at least at the expense of our country. When they're supposed to share the word with the people, you don't have to give them money. But sharing the word with them is creating, first and foremost, an environment that is conducive for investor, where an investor can come in the country so they can have employment. Instead, you're getting free money so they can work and make money for themselves. Second, provide security for them. They can go to sleep and wake up without fear of being attacked or armed robbery. They can walk on the street after 7, 8 p.m. and try to move on freely with no problem. Wherein you invest in infrastructure development, get them clean drinking water, not for free, they will pay for it, but at least let it be available. Give the electricity everywhere in the country. Liberia is small. Look at Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast is 2 times bigger than Liberia. They got electricity everywhere until they even giving some to Liberia. Shamefully, the other bugger was just in articles during the first 3 months of his government, begging for electricity. When they are there squandering their own money, wasting their money. So when people criticize the government to do the right thing, and you are here attacking people who are actually helping the government to do what is right, to hold their feet to the fire, to make sure that they do the right thing, and you are there insulting them, disrespecting them, or discouraging them, it only proves that you are very much unpatriotic. You don't love country. You are a bunch of sacrifice. You don't know exactly what you want. You don't love your country. You don't love anything good for your country. You are only selfish because you have somebody in government. You have somebody that so you're stopping insulting and disrespecting people for talking to the government or for holding the government feet to the fire. If you are not comfortable, you don't have to come on our platform. We don't really worry about how many people watching. We don't care. You come here, we'll be here. You don't come here, we'll be here, because we know there are people. There's still some good people that want to hear the truth. There are people that are glued to this particular platform simply because of the fact that we tell the truth. We speak truth to power, and they know that we are in it for Liberia, not for ourselves. So if you Seco friends come here or not, we will be here. You know, one of the guys that we've been joking with and sometimes encourage them to just by being here to show alternative view on some of the issues that we've been discussing here. And then I saw him written something that I was really taken aback. And I restricted his comment. A military officer was allegedly killed, and they lied that the military officer committed suicide. And we gave you all scenarios to whether or not it's possible for somebody to have done that to themselves. Who can shot themselves 6 times in the head? Who can shoot himself 6 times in the head? Where in the world you will see that? We're talking about that he coming here and write, oh, it was Kumis and his gang killed the person. How stupid could you be? As old as you are, grown man, you just choose to be stupid? You don't do that. That's not politics. Nobody's saying Joseph Boakai killed the person, but we know that nobody can shoot himself 6 times in the head. Even if we say Joseph Boakai, because Joseph Boakai is the president, he is responsible to provide security for the entire country, including the military personnel. Everybody. He's responsible to make sure that murders are investigated. He took on the leadership and he took oath to protect life and property in Liberia. So anything happening under his watch, he will take the blame. If it's a good thing, he will take the glory. But for you to come here and even bring community to that conversation, it only proves that you are one of the foolish people that ever existed. We don't need you on here, to be honest. We don't need stupid people. We need people that will come here so people can learn from them. Or if you can't learn from you, just be quiet and learn from us. But for you to come here, because we can joke with you, we encourage you to be here, then you want to show your stupidity. You want to market your stupidity, go and create your own platform. Go and create your own platform and market your stupidity any kind of way you want. We cannot use our platform to actually market that level of stupidity. For them, this whole politics is about Manchester United or Chelsea or Real Madrid and Barcelona making other supporters or fans angry. People talking about life and death issue here. People talking about human life. You want to joke with that? You want to think that you want to make that as a fun? Let me tell you, I'm very much tolerant. I'm very, very, very tolerant. And I welcome everybody on this platform. Even stupid people. But your stupidity, you should keep it to yourself. If your stupidity will impact our platform, will definitely take you off. That I can tell you. If you just come and show to the people that you are from stupid, I don't want to mention family, but if you feel that you're from stupid community and everything about you is just stupid, we will definitely silence you from our platform. You got a lot of other platforms out there you can go and ask stupid. Nobody bothers you. Imagine somebody reportedly killed themselves. You say the person killed himself. And we are telling you the possibility of that happening does not exist. And then you're here putting that on commies. Yeah, man. I ain't got no more respect for you, man. If you come here to talk any nonsense, I will block you from SKTV.
We
don't need you here. We don't need people.
Most people don't know that most of the idiots are on here because of you. 11-1. And I can always tell you, 11-1. Long time you've been gone. I don't look, for me, fools are not my friends. I don't tolerate fools. I don't have no. You want to say we silence you, we did want out your business, you can go explain yourself somewhere else. They have one guy from CDC that used to be on here. Sekou talk to me, don't black that man, leave that man alone. Let people come. Sekou will talk to me every day. I'll tolerate him. One day, he crossed land. Sekou when I hear that day, Sekou when I on the show. Sekou when I wear that day. Kanye won't be doing what I funny thing. I said, very good. I blacking one Facebook page. He made no other explain tire, no evidence. For that day, even when you're watching on second one blacking, you watch from distance. Some of you, that how you need to be treated. You don't belong in a space with reasonable people because you are not reasonable. Even when people try to accommodate you, you still don't act like human being. Somebody suffer for the own child 9 months, but not only that, this man served our country.
Yeah, for 20 years.
And you are there, you won't make it look like the person's life is not valuable.
Yeah.
Even if you support Boaka and you don't, you hate that other people are carrying the news or saying something about it, at least be human enough to say, oh, yeah, let Boaka investigate it. The thing not looking good. Because that human being been able talking, or you can't even make joke out of it, you won't make excuse. You're lucky you'll get sick. You're gonna be telling God thank you for him because 11-1. Some of you gone long time. You bring fake pig again. What I mean, I will block you again. Now, look, I will block you here on the show. I'll block you in your life. I'll block you in my dream. Anywhere I will block you. when you move on that next time, anytime you hear my voice or you hear my name somewhere, you will not come around. You will run far off. Because fools, I got a call. Let me see who called me on this number. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from, please?
Moses, this is Lo-Fi. I have a call back. We're discussing stupid people.
My man, you got the money no more than who you secreted, man?
I don't know what phone you're looking at, but you're straight tired.
Yeah, I got another call. I will call you right back, caller. Go ahead, Lo-Fi. Right after Lo-Fi, I'll bring a call.
No, I mean, the fact that we're discussing stupid people, you know, I was listening to Simple talk about how ignorant some of our people can be. There is a particular individual who is literally stupid like backyard. You know how backyard, anything you can throw it there and accept it. Everything you don't want, just throw it in the backyard. That's how stupid some of these people are. And I'm not going to mention name or anything, right?
No.
Because if it comes to discussing national issue, I'm not going to always agree with Moses. Not that I'm not always going to agree with Sickle. But for you to just be consistently stupid about everything, that turns you into the backyard. Because Sickle, when Sickle is fed up with anything in his house, he takes it and throws it in the backyard. The backyard doesn't throw it back out. The backyard is so stupid to the extent it will accept anything that is thrown at it, good or bad. That's how stupid some of these people are. And I think I have literally just concluded that when you identify one of these people, just ignore them. Just don't pay them mind anymore. When you have identified them that they are as stupid as the backyard, don't even engage them. Or the garbage can, don't engage them anymore. Just keep moving on because
but Lofa is gonna be, if they're gonna be distracting you, if they're gonna be, here writing some nonsense and discrediting every good thing you will say, it better you get rid of them. Because they don't be.
I agree with you. I agree with you, though, Sickle. I agree with you because
they don't have to be here.
And I agree with you, Sickle, because I think their intention is to distract you from actually providing information for the general public.
Yeah.
And they do that consistently, even though they know within themselves that they're stupid. Their argument holds no ground. But they're purposely doing it because they want to be distraction.
Exactly.
But these are the same people yesterday who were calling sedition names, calling them stupidicians, calling them weirdos, and all the other names in the world. Today, now that Joseph Boycott is under the microscope, they feel like everybody who spoke against CDC yesterday should now celebrate Honorable Boycott and his idea of no sense of governance. If you don't buy into their ideas, then they call you name or start insulting you. That just proves how stupid these guys are. And that is the actual description of these guys. I wouldn't even try to, fine-tune the message about them because that is honestly being stupid. If you don't see reason to agree that some sort of investigation should be conducted about this man who died, but then you claim that someone else was involved in it without having any facts. Just like Prince Johnson, just like we will wait. 2029, Prince Johnson will come and tell us who killed this man. Just like he waited until the last election before he told us who killed the other NSA officer. That's how stupid some of these guys are. Thanks, Moses.
So quickly before I take the last caller, Mr. Kanye, I know you don't want to get involved with a religious conversation, but I don't want to say this to our audience. Remember, we told you that some of these so-called political or religious advisors to the president, President John, we are on a religious advisor. I forgot about this to bring it up. Reverend Emmanuel Nimle. I'm taking the Reverend title from him today. Emmanuel Nimle, we told you he's been a crook. He's arrested and in jail. He been duping people. Can you imagine? He been duping people. They finally catch him. They hang off him and carry him to jail for 700. Allegedly, he's a criminal. So you'll be thinking about your religious advisor then. So Emmanuel Nimle, Joe, we are on a political religious advisor. He gets on a title. I'm not calling that title again. I'm done with him on that title business. The same way I have Chairman Ludo Tabe. I can call him any other title. I'll call him Chairman from a political standpoint. So that it there. But Mr. Kana, I got one more caller. I beg you, let me take the caller and then I think
Go
we'll.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me take the caller. The caller not picking up back. You know, so my people that is there, the religious advisor, then I ain't going them. Okay, yeah, the caller calling back. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from, please?
Good afternoon again, Moses. This is Steve Adam. This is Pastor Cummins again.
Pastor Cummins, quickly before you get to your point. They arrested one of your fellow religious male, and they say he's a criminal, and they put him on in any kind of jail. So I mean, you think God will intervene in that one, or what's going on?
Steve, let me say this. Every pastor or citizen must be law abiding. You can't do anything contrary to the law of a nation or a country and say you'll go scot free without you facing the law. So, I mean, it is good that he's going through that process. And the sad thing is that he's the religious advisor. Now, all my years in the media, this is the first time I see a religious advisor to a president being handcuffed. The last time I checked, just for the record, one religious leader to a president that was brave and courageous was Mother Esther Yima. I say this to say because
but what does that say about the Christian faith, though? Imagine you met tattoo, one of your tattoo, you pastor. The man on a tattoo. For me, I look at it as previous tattoo. Former tattoo was they use the tattoo revving on him. What does that say about our own religion? When you get our revving, John we are revving that he brought on, we is a hell of a crook. He's been arrested for criminality. What does that say about the religion, though?
Well, you see, Steve, you read the Bible, right? Look at Matthew 7:21. Not all that say law, but he that doeth the will of the Father. Remember now, it was religious leaders who show up at the gravesite of Lazarus. Remember also in the Garden of Gethsemane, it was religious leaders who escorted Judas Iscariot.
Yeah.
Okay, so that speaks volume, right? So what transpired yesterday, we still see a replica of today. But let's look at the individuals. Let's look at their character. Even though it speaks volume concerning the religion, but I will tell you there's a reason why I don't talk about religion, because I don't believe in religion.
Okay.
I'm a Christian, but no scripture in the Bible says Jesus came or the prophets or the apostle, because the Bible says the church was built on the foundation of the prophets, the apostle, and Jesus is the cornerstone. So Jesus, who is now the cornerstone, never came to introduce a religion. He came as a mediator to reconcile man back to God. So when you as a religious leader, you go against the law, you will have to face the full weight of the law. But sometimes, because of the things that people do as pastors, it brings the church into public disrepute. Go back to the 1997 election. We found the church in the same place. The 2005 election. They just ended the election, 2023 election.
Mm-hmm.
It was Reverend Nimla and other who told Joshua by prophetic divine he will be president.
Oh, they seen criminal revenue yet?
Steve is sleeping. Just wake up a little bit. But here is something. The reason why I called, right?
But we need to catch that revenue in game 25 for lying.
So another day we can have that discussion, because sometimes when you talk, sometimes it provokes me to call, because when you talk, one person, if I want to speak to the pastors, I know the group to speak to. You see, Steve, sometimes we leave the pastors here in the diaspora and we focus on the pastors on the ground. All the years I live in this country, 99% of the things that occurred in Liberia, the pastors here in the diaspora have not been vocal. They never wrote it. I've never seen my days with Radio LIB on the late set that Sekou used to be on. You don't know I was on there. I used to be there. Not many pastors, Liberian pastors in the diaspora, they take themselves to be some angels. The pastors on the ground, they are the demons. But all these things that happen, the alleged killing of the auditors, the issue with Keith Jibar, the issue of the 17 young men who were gruesomely murdered, the 5 dead bodies that was discovered in Maryland, mutilated bodies, the Fulham man who was beheaded in River G, the young small boy that was killed in Maryland, whose death was allegedly linked to Sumu Kopi. I can go on and on. I never saw one article coming from the Liberian Pastoral Association in the diaspora. But a lot of them are here who pretend, and they pretend so hard and keep their mouth closed while the people, the people in Liberia are suffering. Steve, here is the reason why some of the pastors who are vocal remain quiet. Not that they don't talk. I had the privilege to run a religious program, so I was between the imams and the pastor a lot. I may not know everything in the Shura or the Quran, but I know some. But there were pastors who were vocal on national issues, even as far as the days of Charles Taylor and that of Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. But if you go back a little bit and do small research, the reason why some of those vocal pastors were not speaking out, because some of the other pastors, John, Bishop, Winker, and they sold out, or they sold out.
Yeah.
They sold out. So the group here now, you've been running shows. I remember one time you came on, you said, Pastor Cummings, I hope the thing with the TRC will be consistent because people do programs and they stop. But imagine we were creating awareness and people on the TRC video I was showing were insulting my mom.
Yeah, but Pastor Cummings, before you leave, the chief, before you leave, right?
Yeah, okay.
Before you leave, the pastor then in the cook pastor then in the United States or in other parts of the diaspora, those are modified crooks. If you check the history, they've been let out from back home. They not change. They just modify the 2.0 version. So, and to be quite honest, the same thing can apply to President Donald Trump. You got Paula White and other people then who support him.
Yeah.
And, it speaks volume even of the church here, the consecutive movement, so-called consecutive movement, the religious people, they call themselves I just forgot some kind of way they can call themselves, and all of them line up behind Donald Trump, right? Donald Trump just got convicted for paying a prostitute to sleep with her. What kind of moral, what kind of stand up that I want to as well listen to on God it? I don't waste my time on them. In fact, I have deduced the church has been used by bad actors to hide the bad behavior, to shield themselves, and to come and destroy the faith and the religion. That's my honest assessment.
You and myself who know better, all we can do is to continue to provide enlightenment. No matter how people insult you, look, my brother, there's something I love. I used to listen to Madam Sirleaf. She always said thick skin. I learned that thick skin scenario when I was airing the TRC tapes. When I started airing all the TRC tapes, Steve, people would come on there, they would insult my mom as well. But I just used to look at it and I said, the only thing that saved you from me is 911. That's all. If no 911 physically in the street, we can't do nothing. But you have 911 that will come to your rescue. So then how do we reduce our 911 to conscientizing them? Is to keep providing enlightenment for those who need enlightenment. That's all we can do.
Right.
Because, Steve, our people used to walking away with seeing people becoming victim I'll give you one typical scenario. My father was starved from his house, only in his brief, as far as Redemption Hospital. A man who was not a fighter, but a basketball player, a banker, and a tennis player. They said my father was keeping rebel in his swimming pool. People who knew him that used to come in the yard to swim or play on the tennis or the basketball court, they saw those rebels drag my father from over there. Never. The person who came to his rescue was a stranger that I don't know. I don't even know if I would meet that person in my lifetime. But my father's situation went unpunished, no justice, nobody spoke about it. But when I had the opportunity to be on the radio, I was talking about it. But my late father always used to say, do not take revenge. Don't say anything, don't do anything. But justice will one day surface, if not here, but in heaven. So most of the younger generation coming on today, who are getting used to modern journalism, they are not people who already know Liberia. So the Liberia they know is a Liberia that hail thieves, rogues, murderers, thieves. You know, that's the Liberia they know. So if you or Sekou or Lofa Judah, anybody say something concrete, because these boys are political, hallelujah, praise singers, they will insult you from now to tomorrow morning. But don't give up, because the message is resonating with the people that need to hear it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so Mr. Kane, we'll try to wind down.
Yeah, I think we can cut it there.
Yeah, but thank you so much. I know we'll be on tomorrow by the grace of God, and you will be in charge. So
I'll see you tomorrow. You're not here tomorrow?
Eh?
You will not be on tomorrow. Let me say this, man. We're talking about people supporting us. Like somebody sent $25. Then while we were talking, another person sent $25. So we had like both people send it to Zelle. So anybody who didn't support us on Friday and willing to do so, you are more than welcome. We will appreciate it. And you can send your support to the Cash App of Zelle. Let me see. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, the person, I don't know whether the person will appreciate me calling their name, but the second person to, I think both are females. I want to say thank you to all of you. We will leave it here for today. We'll be here tomorrow. I want to say thank you to you all for being here and for sticking with us for at least almost 3 hours, 2 hours, 47 minutes. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow.